And as you make these sales offers, the people that you're making them to, if they are compelled by that offer to talk to you, they raise their hand, I'd like to have a sales conversation. You have that sales conversation and you book the business. So sales conversations are actually very easy if they're had at the right time. Often the reason that we don't like having the sales conversation is because it's too soon. It's not comfortable, it's not at the right time. So when I originally wrote Book Yourself Solid, I wrote the second edition this past year, but when I originally wrote it for people who typically don't love the idea of marketing and selling. So my idea was this: to write it as a love story disguised as a business book. A love story between you and all of the clients that you serve, and a love story between you and the idea of promoting yourself out in the world because you stand for something. Now, of course, in your foundation, there are building blocks that we need to put together. A red velvet rope policy of working only with ideal clients, people that energize us and inspire us, and most importantly, allow us to do our best work. Because what happens out in the world when you're doing your best work? People are talking about your best work. And guess what else? You love every minute of it. And when you're loving every minute of the work you do, guess what? You want to do more of it. Guess what that means? It means you want to promote your work. So you've got to start with a red velvet rope policy. Now, if you've got this red velvet rope policy, then you can look at why people buy what you're selling. Clear, defined, specific target market. Because you know why we need a target market, guys? 3 reasons. Number 1, so you know where to do your marketing. Number 2, so when you show up there, they know you are dedicated to them. And number 3, because they already have established networks of connection. They're already talking to each other and they spread the word. And then, of course, if you have a target market, then you know what they need and what they desire. If you know what they need and what they desire, you can deliver one big result. How many?
1.
How many?
1.
How many?
1.
This is a big deal. So many of us offer so many different things. We do so many different things to so many people. We've got so much juice. But you need something to hang your hat on. One thing. That's what they're looking for. They want to know you've got one thing that answers their big problems. And if you have that one thing, that big result, well then of course you can demonstrate the financial, emotional, physical, and spiritual benefits of that result. Well then you understand why people buy what you're selling. Now if you've got the red velvet rope policy, if you understand why people buy what you're selling, then you can develop a personal brand identity so you decide how you're known in the world. You decide. Not everybody else. But of course your personal brand identity has to be true, real. Because you cannot spread something a long way about yourself that is not true. Eventually it will all crumble. And if you have a red velvet rope policy, if you understand why people buy what you're selling, if you have a brand identity so you decide how you're known in the world, then you can talk about what you do without sounding bland or confusing or like everybody else, and without ever using an elevator speech. Now, the elevator speech is essential for certain things. If you are a startup raising money from a venture capitalist, absolutely, you must have it. If you are a speaker and the meeting planners need to talk about you to the people that they're trying to book, absolutely. But if you're a service professional, I think you've misappropriated the elevator speech from the world of venture capital and applied it to services. So raise your hand if you just love, absolutely love listening to other people's elevator pitch. Okay, that's a big donut. 0. Seriously, how many people love giving their elevator pitch? Okay, that's, well, 2. Now here's the thing, 3 people. The 3 of you guys, did you notice nobody wants to hear it? So what do? I have a crazy concept. It totally will blow your mind. You ready? Say yes if you're ready.
Yes.
Have a conversation. About guess what? Who you serve. What they need, what they desire. The big result you help them get. The benefits. But it never goes the same way. Because it's not a speech. I started my career as an actor. and I had a modicum of success, so I can give a speech. But I could not for the life of me try to give an elevator pitch about what I did. It just felt so inauthentic. So what about organic, real conversations? And you know what? If you really are going to follow up with this person, if you really care about making the meaningful relationships that Tim was talking about yesterday, you don't care if you have that in 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 hours, or 3 weeks. Because you're building a relationship over time. Now that feeling just frees you up. I don't have to worry about it anymore. And oftentimes the reason we need the elevator pitch is because we're not really sure who we serve and what we help them do. So we have to script it. But if you know what you do, you know exactly who you serve, the big result, the deep-rooted benefits, it's easy to talk about what you do. Super simple. Make sense? Say yes if it does.
Yes.
All right, great. Now you've got the plan for building trust and credibility over here. Remember, this is the foundation. This stuff gives you that opportunity. It opens the window to earn their trust and demonstrate that you're credible. Now the first thing you got to consider is reading Tim's book, The Likability Factor. Because this whole conversation starts with likability. Yeah? And what you will learn in Tim's, this is a fantastic book, what you will learn in Tim's book is that there are 4 essential elements to likability. 4.